I want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
Please leave me alone. Okay. This is the Charles Berry Stalker Podcast. This is Cynthia Ortiz. It's 1:39 on the 11th of August, 2023. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Over and over and over and over and over. And I've said the same thing. Charles and those guys try to make me sound like I'm wacky because I'm screaming and yelling, please leave me alone. I said no. No means no. These guys are not just stalkers, they're human traffickers. And Mr. Perry's typing in my phone today, I want you to be an escort and work for me. Oh my God. Okay. I've said no to you for a decade. My answer is no. It's always going to be no. The more you contact me, the more information we get from inside your crime. There's a team of guys, law enforcement guys, investigating you. They get what you guys just said and they give it to me. And how that works is not your business. It's a need to know. You'll find out when they arrest you and we're done. We don't have to put up with this shit anymore. The harassing, the terrorizing, the horrifying, the harassing, the threats, the horrifying, the terrorizing. And then your guy Calvin, I'm going to make sure she gets no more DoorDash money. I'm going to make sure she, gets kicked out of school and no more school loan money. And I've told her family you can't help her anymore. And she's fucked. I'll put her down. She's fucked. And I guess I was supposed to get a ticket tonight. But they had 3 car accidents. My guy goes, listen to this. And there was some guy saying, yeah, I was supposed to pull her over and give her a ticket tonight. And I watched her drive by. There was nothing I could do. I was taking a statement in a car accident. She drove right by me. I did drive by 3 car accidents tonight. Sir, I apologize. You did not get the opportunity to harass me for Mr. Perry. Now, let's clarify on police recordings. I'm not coming up with this shit from the air. You guys are the ones running around going, how does she know? How'd she find out? I've never met Calvin that I know of. But I hear he's bald and fat and everybody hates him. He's very, very cruel and everybody fucking hates the guy. I've never met him that I know of. So, what I'm doing is I'm getting information from the law enforcement agency. There's more than one working together, investigating Charles Berry and his trafficking and his sex exploitation. He asks me every day, is this person a leak? Is that person a leak? Some of these people I've never heard of. Who's Parker? That's the new name he's asking about. Is Parker leaking? Is Jim leaking? Is Al leaking? Jim and Al, he asks about constantly. Okay, even though I have said every day for years, it's a need-to-know investigation. There's something that I don't need to know, and that's who the leaks are. So I'm not told that. I don't need to know it. When I quote you guys and when I say, you guys were recorded XYZ, the recording often has to be proven out, which you do when you do what the recording says. If you're recorded saying, please take her car away, then she'll call me, and my car's wrecked 5 times, or I'm going to have her car towed and sold, it's not legal. I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. And then it's wrecked 5 times in the years following, in the couple of years following, which mine was. He said it in August 2019. 5 times in the following years, he's wrecked my car right at the wheel. They're always this very similar incidents. One was different in that they had a brick thrown at me on the freeway. Mr. Perry's guy was at the end of the road as I was leaving to go to work. When I saw his guy, I went out a different way. The guy was sitting there so he could call down the road to the one with the brick and say, here she comes. So when I went out a different way, it delayed me about 2 to 3 minutes. And so the brick did not hit me in the head, thank God. It got close. It hit right in front of me and bounced up and cracked my engine in 2 and totaled my car. Then, Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we always get more. Do you like that? He just did it again. When you contact me, We always get more. Do you like that? I don't want to hear from you. I don't want any contact from you at all. So Mr. Perry's now whining and complaining, please get her car, then she'll call me. I need to talk to her. Like he is. Let me just talk to you. These guys have delusion problems, bad ones. Mr. Perry's been diagnosed with Huntington's disease. He tells people it's Tourette's. Apparently they have some similarities in symptoms on the physical part, where there's some involuntary muscle movements. But if you talk to Mr. Perry for more than a second, you can tell there's something wrong with his mind. You can tell when you talk to him. We've heard a lot of people say that. You can tell that guy's not all there. He's got Huntington's disease. It causes delusion, paranoia, psychosis, hallucinations, and impaired cognitive reasoning. So simple concepts that we all got when we were in daycare, cause and effect. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. Touch a hot stove, you get burned. He can't understand it. You can explain it over and over and over, and we have, which is not my responsibility, by the way. That's the responsibility of his attorney. He has an attorney and a doctor. They need to do that. And his family, Jacqueline, Jordan, and Matthew, need to do that. It is not my responsibility. But because he's imposed crime on me, we have to. And you have to say the same thing for the guy over and over and over and over and over. When you contact me, you get caught. When you contact me, you get caught. Cause and effect. When you touch a hot stove, you get burned. When you touch a hot stove, you get burned. Cause and effect. It's the same thing every day for a decade. Not a day, not a week, not a month, not a year. For 10 years, we get more inside information than anybody has gotten before on his criminal organization, and he's got one. So, clearly, something's wrong with him. When you contact me, we always get more. I don't want to hear from you. Listen, I moved 2 times to get away from Mr. Perry, and to have no conflict with him, no contact with him, no dealings with him, no problems from him, nothing. Picked up my son. It's one thing if you're by yourself and you decide to move. It's something different completely when you've got a 10-year-old little boy and then a 14-year-old little boy, or 10, 11, somewhere in there he was. We left Lubbock in 2013, November, and went to the Dallas area. And then we moved again in September 2014, so not quite a year, and came to Oklahoma to be with family and to get away from Mr. Perry. Everywhere we went, he followed. He's always in Oklahoma. I left 10 years ago. He's always in Oklahoma. They can't get him to leave. We hear he's always in Oklahoma. Nobody invited him here. I didn't introduce him to my family and friends. I would never take him around them. Never, ever would I do that. So he's not all there. He's, why would you do the same thing every day that gets you caught if you're a criminal for 10 years? And he has, and he does, and he won't stop, even to his own detriment. He's depraved, he's demented, he does very cruel things, so does Calvin. And the more cruel they get, the more info we get. So what was this tonight? She was supposed to get ticketed. I was supposed to pull her over, and I couldn't do it. I was taking a report on a car accident. Watched her drive right by, nothing I could do. So we get that recording. That recording is going to sit for a little while in a file. Then there's going to be different strategies that we use to try to prove it out. Is it true? Is it confirmed? Can we confirm it or rule it out? Is there parts of it that... One way that we do that is we'll put something out, and one sentence might be incorrect. Not always, but a lot of times it is. We're waiting for you to correct it. Then that is... You're saying, I said that. I did say it. And you got this one part wrong. Here's what I actually said. Well, we already know what you actually said. We put the one sentence or 2 sentences in incorrectly on purpose. The conversations about maybe it's Aruba that's after us. There is some foreign intelligence involved because your crime is international. And terrorism and human trafficking is used these days to fund terrorism. So it's a threat to national security. It's a very serious matter. So You're wondering about Aruba. Maybe you're on Vandersloot told, and they know we have Natalie Holloway. Well, we're shocked. We're like, whoa, holy crap. So my guys are like, say that we're gonna do an extraction from this house they have south of Houston. It's a compound, has beveled glass so nobody can see in and nobody can see out, and the girls inside can't get help. The concubine, Mr. Perry is a whack job that he believes in concubines. So does Jackie know that when you go to Houston and say you're going to help your dad or something, or business, whatever, that you're actually going to this house in Houston where you've got kidnapped victims being held against their will, and you're making them have your kids? How many kids you got? 5, 6? And nobody knew that until you started doing your crime to me. When you contact me, we always get more. You take from me, they take from you. You invade my privacy, they invade yours. Right? Isn't that how that works? Criminal? Nobody did a thing to you. I left. Twice. I moved twice. I got to take a 10-year-old kid and go, do I uproot him from all his friends and all everybody, and make him start all over in a whole new town? Put him through that? Is it safer? Is it at that place now where we're going to have to do that? And it was, and I did. Twice. Put my son through, ripping him away from the school he's used to, the teachers he's used to, the kids he's used to, his friends, the community he's used to, and bring him to a whole new place. Start all over to get away from Charles Perry. Charles Perry gets in your fucking house and clones your phone, and they put cameras in women's homes, our witness says, and he'll broadcast us all over the dark web and sell watch time. Then he gets him fired, he says. I'm quoting a witness. That you have proved that witness out repeatedly. You have substantiated that witness's claims over and over and over and over. It's so easy, it's not even fair. He gets them fired from their job, makes sure they can't find another job, then they lose their house, then he has the ex take the kids away. Then they're easier to traffic. They got nothing left. You go to them and say, I'll give you a good life. You can go to this house in Houston where we're going to pimp you out. You can be our escort. You'll have nice things, plenty of food, blah, blah, blah. Only you withhold and deprive women of food and shelter when they don't do things like you want. If they're not going to suck that guy's dick for you so you can make money, they don't have food. You rip the kids away. They don't get to see their kids for a day or two, do they? So you're talking about Natalie Holloway. You think maybe you're on Vandersloot's talking, because you're trying to figure out who's helping me. We hear that, we're shocked. We're like, whoa, we thought she was dead. Everybody thought she's murdered. He killed her. But then we remember, we're like talking about it. We're like, well, wait a minute though. Nobody found a body. And there was some talk about her being trafficked back then. There was some talk about it. And then it just kind of faded out, and he killed her. Well, and I think he even tried to blackmail Beth Holloway and telling her, if you'll give me money, I'll tell you what really happened to her. Well, then you're talking about that. So my guys are like, put it out that we're going to do an extraction. Now we know where she is. We'll go in and extract her. So we did, and you reacted, which is exactly what we wanted. Here's the thing. A lot of times if you give someone nothing, there's nothing you can do. If you give someone something, even if it's not exactly what you want, you can do something with it. Something is better than nothing. You guys are, you just, the criminal excrement shit machine. You can't stop yourselves. It's so easy. It's not fair. So we go and we say that, and the next thing we know, the guys are recording them talking about Natalie has changed her name. She hasn't gone by Natalie Holloway in years. Do you think she'll remember? Should we move her to a different location? Now we're even more shocked. Okay, but we've not actually seen her to verify she's in fact there. So that's still being worked on, Mr. Perry, right now. While you try to ruin my career, you try to ruin my life, you try to ruin my money, you try to, Calvin, We're gonna fuck her over. We're gonna put her down. She's no more family help with money, no more school money. Well, we'll ruin her. Why don't you say that to my face, coward? I notice you never say it to my face. It's always behind my back. But you let us know that we're on the right track when you get that desperate. You look that desperate. There's a thing called acts showing consciousness of guilt. You don't attack no one for nothing. You attack someone who you see as a threat to you. If you're doing something illegal, you see it as a threat to your crime. We're on the right track. We're getting it right. So a lot of times we watch what you do. We'll say things on purpose to get a reaction out of you, so you prove us right or you prove us wrong. And we're like, you do. It's worked fine every day for 10 years. Worked out perfectly. You do it every time. We can take it to Vegas and bet on it and win. We win all the time. So now, Mr. Perry, we understand, has told, I guess, FBI George or somebody that the girls are there, but they're there, and they're my concubines, and I'm a religious whack job and believe that concubines are God's Bible, whatever. Dude, concubines were in the Old Testament, and I think that there's a place in the Bible where God said, okay, we've populated the earth enough, one wife, one woman is all you need from here on out. You take one woman, one wife. It is illegal, I believe it's like polygamy or something. So there are, I guess in Utah they still do that. I don't know. Move to Utah. Don't leave me in Oklahoma alone. I'm not going to be anything to you. You're a job for me. I'm very. We've caught more of your crime than anybody ever has before in your life. So we're good at it. Calvin's wanting to do me in and fuck me and put me down and blah, blah, blah. He's going to do this and he's going to do that. She ain't getting no more money. She goes to that club, she ain't going to make no money. If she goes DoorDash, we make sure she don't make no money. You guys over there, pull her over, give her a ticket. Take that car away from her. Right, Calvin? That means we're right. Or you wouldn't do that. That's a reaction. We got a reaction. That's exactly what we wanted. You do it every time. What we said, what we did, what we knew, what we found out. We're not sure if it's true or not. We're not sure if it's accurate or not. We are now. So Mr. Perry's telling people, oh, the girls are there are their own consent. Well, but they don't come and go and leave and go shopping and go get a job and go do normal stuff normal people do and go to a bar and have a drink with other men. Right? They don't come and go as they please. You control everything they do. Only you get to decide when and if they get to eat. And it's always contingent on what sex acts they perform, right? So they're not there of their own free will. They're kidnapped. They're falsely imprisoned. So what you're doing to me after I've said no to you is coercion, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and rape. And nothing more than that. For you, because you killed the cop, and I know you killed that cop. And I tried to testify for the guy, he's in jail, that didn't do it. The cop who took my vandalism report, Michael Neely. You suborned perjury. So I ran and run around you and filed a motion to intervene. Why did Ty Buttram not testify? Why did Chief Ridley not testify? Why did Cynthia Ortiz not testify? Because Chief Ridley and Ty Buttram were on the news saying it doesn't make any sense. They weren't fighting. They were best of friends. Now we have heard people talking about Ty Buttram really getting desperate for me to go back to the club where you guys had some crappy thing planned. And I've not gone. I stopped. I took a leave of absence due to a knee injury. I was waitressing. The waitress bullies me out of waitressing. She's trying to set me up on a petty theft. Everybody knows I didn't do it. We heard you talking about it before. So Calvin and Dave said, when she sets the money out, at the beginning of the night, I'm the one that had the safe code. I'm the one with the money all the time and the code. Never took a dime. Key to the club, everything. Worked for that guy for 8 years off and on, never took a dime. He was the first one to be able to use a credit card. The credit card company takes the credit card and charges it, puts it into my checking account. So sometimes, if it was not very much, at the end of the night when we cash out, I pay the owner his part out of the cash for the end of the night, the money I've made all night long. Sometimes if it's a larger amount, I have to wait 3 business days till the company, I don't now, but they used to, had to wait 3 business days for it to go into my checking account, and once it's in my checking account, I can withdraw it and then give it to him. So for example, if it's a $100 VIP, 40 goes to him, 60 goes to me. Well, the $100 goes from the credit card of the customer into my checking account. I owe him $40. So either I can take $40 out of my cash at the end of the night and give it to him right then. Usually I did if it was just that. But if it's a 1 hour VIP and it's $400, then it's a lot more. So then we would wait the 3 days and I would take the money out, his part, and give it to him. And he trusted me to do that, and I did. So I was the first one to do that. They trusted me with money because I showed myself trustworthy. Now all of a sudden, she comes in the door, and all of a sudden $200 is missing, and I'm like, well, here's the thing. We heard y'all talking about it. I quit opening the bag and setting the money up for like a week now. I've been not doing that because we heard what you guys were going to do. I just put the bag on the counter and you set it up. I haven't touched it. I haven't touched the money. So they do that. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not waitressing anymore and dealing with that. I'll wait till she's gone, and then I'll waitress if they need me, and I'll just go dance. Well, I have a knee injury. I got a knee injury, so I take a leave of absence. A couple times I've tried to go back, and every time I do, Mr. Perry's go to work. I have a surprise for you. They're gonna arrest you. We're gonna have a wedding. You're gonna go to Texas. So my guys are like, oh, for God's sake, what is Whack Job doing now? So they start looking into it. Come to find out, he wants to do a false arrest where they jerk me off the stage so all the girls there can see it, humiliate the hell out of Cindy, right? Isn't that what you guys wanted to do? Make sure the other girls see it, so if any of them are leaking, they stop leaking. And then set her down and tell her, you set me down. If I speak third person, I'm quoting somebody else. Set her down, make her sign this affidavit recanting everything she said in every court anywhere over the past 10 years. Make her lie, suborn perjury. Then tell her she has to go to this house in Houston. She has to go. There's a realtor that wanted me working for him, and now it's an escort. Anyways, I've said no to all of it. Get the fuck out of my life. And you're gonna go to a place where somebody's gonna do that to you? No, you're not. I want, again, after all I've been through, moved twice. I lived in my car because they're trying to starve me, literally. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce, interference with commerce with intent to coerce, interference with contracts with intent to coerce, illegal access and use of an electronic device, grand larceny with intent to coerce. They got y'all on the charges coercion. Those are the acts. And because of my testimony for Mike Neely, witness tampering, plus their case, witness tampering. So also, anything that you've done in civil court that is fraud, he's also using that as a coercion charge because you continue to taunt me with that. I win in court. I win in court. I win in call me. I'm going to take your car. Call me. It literally types that in my phone. The guys are sitting there watching you do it. They see everything you guys do on my phone. I've said that. I've said it over and over and over and over and over. So they're like, and the thing is as long as I'm able to handle taking that kind of shit, they're just gonna let you do you and collect all the evidence of you doing you. We have this talk. The judge that signs off on investigatory orders asks about me and is she okay? Is she able to continue? All the time. Always asking if I'm okay. What are they doing to her now? What do we have to charge them for doing that? Okay, what do you need me to sign? What do you have that you're gonna, is she okay to continue? He has monitored the situation because of the danger that you pose. He monitors everything the officers do to make sure I'm safe. And the second I'm not, there's things that go into motion that we can't, it would blow your mind. Things begin to go into motion that you wouldn't like. People are worried about me. They're worried about Mike Neely. They're worried about those girls. We actually, they're worried about those girls. They're worried about certainly Natalie Holloway's there, since you keep talking about her. And you just continue to taunt and threaten and taunt and harass and threaten and taunt and harass and threaten, knowing that's going to provoke the guys, it's going to provoke your leaks, and we're going to get more. Because everybody wants this wrapped up and over. And you're taken out of society, and you're not a threat anymore. So, it's different when you do it to me, but it's the same every time you do it. We quote you every day. We are getting the help with information, and you're not. Now, in March 2020, the guy said, Cynthia's privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, not directly, not indirectly. She's not to be broke again. Get your hands out of her wallet. And if any of those three things are off, we're going to deal with it. And you won't like how. When you do something that is illegal, people don't like it when you do that. So you do things people don't like, they're not going to like you. And everybody knows that. Why don't you? You continue to contact me, and I don't like it. You came to Oklahoma, where I live, and I don't like it. I said no to you. I've said no to you for 10 years. I'll continue to say no to you. And everything after that is just coercion. It's just kidnapping. It's just false imprisonment, and it's rape. And that's all it will always be. I do not consent to being watched in the privacy of my home. I do not consent to you being in my phone. And for you to say that the girls at that compound are there consensually, when you have them locked in and you control when and where they go, they don't come and go freely. They are not there by their own free will. They're not there of their own free will, or you wouldn't do that. They wouldn't be locked in, and there wouldn't be any beveled glass, right? Yeah, you're full of shit. So, why is it different when you do it to me? Why? Have you ever sat down and thought about that? Why is it different when we do it to her? What do we do that provokes everybody, and the next thing we know, she's quoting what we all just said? We get the help, not you. That's the other thing the guy said. Look how much more information we got after March 2020 when he first said that. You're threatening, you're bribing, and in response to that, he said, at no time does Cindy have to lie. First of all, let's establish that. At no time does she have to lie. Second of all, and you're not entitled to a lie. No one is. And you're not entitled to invade her privacy. I know that you're grew up on welfare or something, and you think you are, but you're not. So you need to get some dignity in class and quit acting like that. Then he said, you owe her a legitimate debt. Pay that. Give it back. You ran all the good customers off from that club. It used to be packed. Get that place full of paying customers who aren't grabby and weird, because you ran them all off. You wronged somebody. You make it right. You owe Cynthia money, a legitimate debt. Pay that and quit trying to bribe her. That's illegal. It is legal to pay a legitimate debt. You're watching in her house. You're using her body against her will, without her consent, for your entertainment, for profit, and you can't do that. It's $1,000 a day to use my body for your pretend love life, for your imaginary world, for your make-believe land, for your, Frozen, and plus 2,000 for doing it without my consent. It is illegal to peep. It is vulgar. It is rape. And you stop. It's $1,000 a day for doing that, and plus 2,000 for doing it without my consent. Anybody can attempt to collect a debt out of court. If that's unsuccessful, then you you're going to court. In this case, probably criminal court first, then civil. Plus all the money you cost me, Calvin, when you jam up my Dasher app. Because we have a forensic accountant that knows exactly how much money I should be making and how much you're letting me make. And the same thing when I was dancing. He did the same thing when I was dancing. He's tabulated a total of how much money you took and how much you've cost me. Every car you wrecked. Every time you take up my time. So there's a legitimate amount of money owed to me from you. So he said, you give that back, you fix what you broke, get the club full of paying customers, get Fabian and Tristan up there so she can talk to them, and you butt out, because you're a butt-in. And you caused a conflict where there didn't need to be one. With Tristan, you're butting into shit that doesn't concern you. It's none of your business. I don't want you in my life. I didn't invite you into my life. None of you. So why are you in my life? Why the fuck are you? A bunch of guys, I don't know who you are. I've never met you. If I have, I didn't know it. I don't want you in my life. I'll decide who's in my life. You're not wanted in it. You don't go through great lengths to move twice to get away from someone if you want them in their life. Charles doesn't have a woman trying to get with him. Charles has some people trying to get protective orders. 11. To be specific, 11 times I asked the judge, make the guy leave me alone. Either in a protective order or a lawsuit that included a request for a protective order or a lawsuit that included a request for an injunctive order. Some kind of request where I said, Judge, make this guy leave me alone. Judge Irick said to your attorney, it goes without saying he needs to leave her alone. Meaning, surely at his age, he can behave himself and leave her alone. When somebody says it goes without saying, that means you should already know this. Dum-dum. So that is basically constitutes a verbal order that you don't contact me. Stalking is a felony. Peeping, hacking, felonies. Trafficking, major fucking felony. Coercion, witness tampering, perjury, suborning perjury, all of that. Perjury by concealment. RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation. Oh my God, the list is long. It's a book right now. It's going to take your attorney 6 years to read all through it. So anyways, so I'm supposed to testify for Mike Mealy, and they don't let me. And so I file a motion to intervene. Motion to intervene should have been, had a hearing that said that the judge decides did she even have standing to file this motion, and there was nothing. Which is like 4 or 5 times now, Mr. Perry. You're starting to catch people's attention with the number of times things are supposed to go like this in a courtroom, but they don't. There is no hearing, and there should have been. 4, 5, 6 times now. On things that you say you had nothing to do with. So when it bears your fingerprint, we can spot a pattern the second time you do it. You can get up in court, and you can... Here's the thing. When you go into court and you deny allegations made in these podcasts, we fucking love it. My guy's like, let him. Saying nothing is what I can't do anything with. When they deny, gosh, it's great if you can get somebody to admit guilt. But here's the thing, a lot of times you can't. So in my career, I've gotten very good at using denials. I can do a whole lot with a denial. You'd be surprised, you'd be amazed what I can do with a denial. They're giving me something. If they give me nothing, here's the thing, criminals are stupid. Because here's what you do. If you're smart, here's what you do. You have the right to remain silent, so you don't say anything. But these guys go into court and deny. Perfect. That's all I need. I just needed something. And that goes with anybody working with you. Anybody who is a co-conspirator or a conspiratory offender. Right? So there's that. So this is what you make me feel. I'm screaming and yelling at you, leave me alone. And you go around and tell everybody she's got a temper. And we're like, oh my God, wow. So here's my temper.
Wait, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop, I don't, stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why
No. Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
Leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I
What
don't ever
happened?
want to hear your voice, you. Please
What
stop. Bless you, but
What
please leave
happened?
me alone.
What
This make you
Look at this. Okay, so I've said repeatedly, they cloned my phone. It's illegal use and access to an electronic device. They're using DoorDash. They have their people call in an order. I take the order. They tell the guy, get a picture on the doorbell camera or look and see what kind of car she's driving. If you can get a tag, get a tag. It's illegal. Illegally obtained information. We've said it over and they, a lot of times they'll jam it up and I get nothing at all, or it's all upside down orders, so that they make sure I have no money. I can't pay my bills. And then every time I want to go work at the club, then, you know, Mr. Perry's typing, I'm so excited. I can't wait. We're going to arrest you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. For what? Not liking you? I mean, you guys have tried 20 different angles at that second false arrest. We're going to harass the hell out of her and wreck her car 5 times. And then when she tells on us, we'll say she's harassing us. We're going to use our DoorDash app to get pictures of her, like this guy. Stalker. Here, judge. Here's all these pictures that we got of her working at DoorDash, doing normal things normal people do. I'm going to use that to prove I'm not stalking her. I'm going to use that to prove I'm not doing what she says I'm doing. So, Matt Powell, I guess, called tonight. Have we identified it? We can't make proper ID yet. We are not sure that's her. And I'm like, oh, with DoorDash orders? Well, we did say. I mean, I told everybody. I told you so. This is what this guy... these people don't even make sense. She's like, do you like it when somebody puts a camera in your face? When you invade my privacy, how does it feel when my guys invade yours? I got pictures of you. I'm a stalker. I get pictures of you. You know how many pictures I have of Mr. Perry? None. Nobody goes where he is and takes pictures of him, at least that I see. There might be, the cops probably have some, but I don't have any. And I don't go to Texas. People are starting to notice, Mr. Perry, that you're always in Oklahoma where all the problems are. I'm having all these problems. You're not having problems. And I'm having the problems in Oklahoma. 5 times you wrecked my car. I'm sleeping in my car for the first time in my life. These guys they know me. They've known me for 30 years, worked with me. They know I can make money. So when all of a sudden I don't have money, that's when they started hiring the forensic accountant. Like, oh no, she can make money. If she's not making money, somebody's doing that to her. So please understand, a lot of people aren't stupid like you. You think everybody's as dumb as you are, and they're not. They're thinking circles around you. So a lot of times people tell you what you want to hear, so you'll shut up and go away. I know I've done that many times. I had an argument with somebody recently where the guy was just going at me, and I said, I had to yell at him to get him to stop. And I just said, he was like, you're not understanding, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I understand you perfectly. I disagree with you. Now you're wasting my fucking time. Shut up. We're done. Argument's over. And that was it. So when somebody is wasting your time, whether it's an argument that, look, you could re-explain the same thing to me 1,000 different ways. That's not the problem. The problem is I disagree with your position. So why don't you try listening instead of talking at me? First of all, because what we're doing is wasting time. We disagree on this issue. We just disagree. So let's agree to disagree and walk off, instead of wasting time where you feel like I'm just not understanding you because I don't agree with you. Or when you're lying to me, I'm not going to stand there and put up with that. I'm going to walk off. I'm going to pretend I believe you in certain situations. Sometimes I want you to keep talking. In that case, I do want you to keep talking because I need here's the push play. You tell on yourself. Go ahead. Because everybody does. Eventually they tell on themselves. So if you just put push play and shut up, people tell on themselves. You'll catch it. So what I do is if somebody's lying to me, Mr. Perry, a lot of other people do this too, you're wasting my time. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you and let you insult my intelligence. So I'm going to say, oh yeah, sure, I believe you, and then walk off. So I can go on with my day and not allow you to waste my time. So some people are telling you what you want to hear so you don't bother them. You also have a bad habit of ruining a life. So a lot of people are afraid to go against you because they don't want to end up like me. Okay, so that doesn't mean they believe you, and it doesn't mean they agree with you. It means they don't want to end up sleeping in their car and you getting them fired. You can bully. They'll come to us, though. We're a safe place. They'll tell us everything you just said. We're a safe place. We don't ruin lives. We don't get people fired. We don't cause that kind of problem. So they're not going to tell you the truth. What they really think, they're going to tell us because we're safe. They're going to tell you, what words do I need to say so you don't attack me and ruin my life and waste my time? So this guy, she's like, how does it feel to have a camera in your face? Oh, you want me to go get the pictures of you? Wow, that's not what I said. It's not even kind of what I said. So then he threatens to get her. Mr. Perry threatens me with that every day.
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give
get
a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is that
the
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that the
feel?
one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is that
the
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? You're filming my father and my... Please leave me alone.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
And this is what normal people, how they see you. This is what they think of you.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting.
And it is. And Mr. Perry's demanded a conversation, and I've continued to say no. Listen, you are delusional if you think I care what you think. I'm pretty sure I made it very, very clear that I don't. And nobody understands why you think I do. Didn't ask you, don't want to know. I left. I got away from you. I went to a lot of trouble to get away from you. I've gone to a lot of trouble to teach myself the law, to take you to court, to get a protective order of some sort. You guys didn't, for whatever reason, 5 attorneys couldn't handle one chick with not a lick of law school. 5 seasoned attorneys. So I'm never in the courtroom. You always do these ex parte hearings and everything's dismissed. Or there's supposed to be a by law hearing and it just doesn't happen. So whatever your corruption in the courtrooms, my guys are dealing with it. You think you're getting away with stuff? Fine. Think what you want. You like living in pretend land? Go ahead. But then don't run around asking who told. Who told on me? How did you find out? So, I mean, you can't have it both ways. Either you're under investigation or you're not. Either you have somebody leaking or there's a wiretap order or there's something so that information that you guys talk about doing some kind of harm or injury to me that we get beforehand, not after. It's not an afterthought, so I can just explain something away. There's a recording of you discussing a criminal act against me that you intend to carry out to cause a problem for me and a loss, to try to make me do something I don't want to do. So we've heard it over and over and over. It's something different every day. Take her car, then she'll call me, then I can talk her into doing something she doesn't want to do. Right? You've said it over, and you say it almost every day. I said no. You're delusional if you think you can talk me into doing something I don't want to do. You're delusional. So if you don't think there's law enforcement after you, stop asking about leaks. You don't care. There's no leak to what? Leak what to what? Don't ask who told if there was nothing to tell. If we're getting this stuff, you're giving us something to get. It's very detailed. It's very specific. We try hard to prove it out. A lot of times you prove it out because you do exactly to almost to the letter what you were recorded talking about doing a day or two before. Okay? So you want to sit down and figure out how you can make this lie work and that lie work in this life. And then on the other hand, run around calling different police departments. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it Al? Is it Jim? Who's leaking? There are no leaks. There's no investigation. Right? Cindy's just delusional. So, why are you making those phone calls? Why are you asking those questions? Okay, there you go. There's my answer to that. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to hear a word you have to say. You don't make any sense to me. I think you're a demented, depraved, dark, sick, twisted soul. You have nothing to say that I want to hear. Nothing. Nothing at all. So, my answer is still no. Your pressure is rape. The pressure that you're putting on me to do and say something I don't want to do and say is pissing me off. When you piss me off, you piss the guys off. The non-existent law enforcement agency that isn't getting your leaks to, tell them inside stuff. So, there's that. I don't want to talk to you. Charles, when you contact me, we always get more. Ask Muffin Man. Ask Betancourt. Ask Bald Fat Calvin. Ask Blankenship, Desiree, Beverly, Renee, Andrew, James, Ruben, Lawrence, Larry, Greg, Tim, Richard, Dickey. Ask those guys, okay? Those are your people, right? Lucius Geppetto. Ask your people, sir, about the non-existent law enforcement that's not it's just delusional Cindy. Right? Alright. It stopped bothering me with your questions. When you contact me, we get names like that. You cause a problem for me, we get names like that. There's no leaks, right? So why are you asking me if Al's leaking or Jim? Who the fuck is Al? Yeah, there you go. Alright, so this was today. We found out Mike Neely was drugged before anybody else said it. Delusional Cindy imagined it. But the funny thing is, delusional Cindy, according to Perry, imagined Mike Neely was drugged and didn't kill Chief Miller because Mike Neely has not a mark on him. No injuries, nothing. Ty Buttram, Chief Ridley are saying doesn't make any sense. They weren't fighting. So delusional Cindy tells the Florida State's attorney in like January, February, March of 2020, he didn't do it, he was drugged, you got the wrong guy. Sure as shit, first responders in May deposition said yes, he was drugged, we gave him Narcan. We didn't treat him for being knocked out in a drunken brawl, we treated him for being overdosed of opioids, he was dying. We gave him Narcan. There's delusional Cindy for you. Okay, so the McNamara email was about you were trying to false arrest me and coerce me. And then you did try. You were trying to kill me. Right? It was the same thing. We drug her. We drug Mike. They don't die. We do a false arrest. We smear them. We can't have them talking. We got to ruin their credibility. Right? The non-existent law enforcement gave me the McNamara email and the Fabian puzzle. Okay? Now, don't ask about leaks. There aren't any. Right? If I'm imagining all this and I'm delusional and there's no cops, then don't ask about leaks. There's not an investigation. You don't need to know how I got the Fabian puzzle or the McNamara email or found out Mike was drugged. And the email about the car, I'm gonna take her car away from her. Followed by 5 accidents that I'm hit. I didn't do the hitting, they hit me. So every time you contact me, we get more stuff like that. Right? Every time you contact me, I fucking hate it. Every penny you take, I fucking hate it. And the imaginary judge who's asking all the time, is she okay? Can she continue? Is she alright? Yeah. Don't ask about leaks, there aren't any. It's just illusion. It's just imagination, right? Okay, so there's that. But this person said, here's this list she's got that gives her a whole lot more credibility in my mind. I would add something to that, and that is that Mr. Perry is always in Oklahoma. Having no food to eat and no place to live and making no money to pay your bills, that's a problem. Having your car hit 5 times is a problem. A murdered cop is a problem. All those problems are happening to Cynthia or someone trying to help Cynthia in Oklahoma where Charles is and he won't leave. So that right there is something she should add. He's in Oklahoma. Why? He didn't have any business being there. Where she lives, where she works, none of his business, doesn't concern him. So why is he butting in? That adds credibility to her and takes it away from him, in my mind, the guy said. Right, all the pullovers, pull her over, pull her over, pull her over. Followed by about 6 in a very short period of time. I imagine that. Yet we're in court. I gotta go to court. Okay, so what's this guy say? He's complaining about how bad you've made my life, basically, is what this person's complaining about. I mean, he's doing all this stuff to her. Deprived her of food and a place to live. And he's trying to, use DoorDash to get her pictures of her. And is that her? Can we confirm that's her? Did we hack the right DoorDash account? Yeah, did you? I don't know. So that's that one. And then, let's see. Yeah, we can't tell for sure if it's her DoorDashing. But she did say that he cloned her phone and was using DoorDash to stalk her and limit her money. So if they're using DoorDash to confirm if that's her, they're just, trying to make sure they hack the right account? Yeah, okay. We got your kidnapping plan. You know, get her at the club. What you've told my family, from what I've heard, is it's just about economy, and I'm trying to help her, and she just won't take my help. You didn't bother to tell him. Your help is not help. Your help is, I'm going to use your body to make money. I can't really do it on the dark web anymore since you caught me. Now I got the FBI looking into that. So we had to take that down. Did you take it down, I heard? Is that right or not? So now we got to use her body for escort. Prostitution. That's what sex trafficking is. That's what human trafficking is. So, also illegal. And I said, no, you're not going to do that. Not to me. You're a job for me, Mr. Perry. Very good at what I do. We've got stuff nobody else has. I imagined it. There's no leaks. And then if she won't, then when we do the false arrest, I'll tell her family, oh, if she says no, I guess she just, got herself in some trouble here and she's not letting me help her. So she's going to have to stay here in jail. And, otherwise, I have to sign the affidavit, pose for a fake wedding, because you forged my name on a marriage license so you could get past privacy laws, so you could tear down my finances to make me easier to traffic. Women are easier to traffic if they're destitute. They have nothing. No, I eat or I suck. If I want to eat, I gotta suck dicks for this guy. Right? You rip women's. That's what the witness said. He puts a camera in their house and uses them to make money. Their body, their home, their utilities, their internet connection, and then gets them fired, and then they lose the house. He'll make sure they don't get another job, and then he has to take the kids away. They're not fit anymore. They're not fit because you make them not fit. They didn't fail, you did. They're victims of your crime. People don't like it when you do illegal things. That's why they're illegal. Everybody knows that. Why don't you know that? Here's your sex trafficking plan. Great detail we got here. We got your code words. There's a witness statement. That's the one who told us that you broadcast women all over the dark web and charge watch time. He also said that you're a sexually dysfunctional sadist. You get a sick, fucked up thrill watching women in pain. Hysterical, he said. He likes getting women hysterical. And then he said, and I'm quoting, goes and rubs one out. I'm glad somebody's finally putting a stop to it because I'm sick of sleeping with one eye open. I wish he never would have told me this. He told me this like he thought it was cool. And I got the heebie-jeebies ever since. Normal people do not do that. They do not do it. Okay. These are emails that I typed up a recording of you, and that's the subject line. On this Facebook page, you can say that it's an ad, but then she can argue mere puffery. There's only one problem with that, he said. It's flat out says, this is not a political ad, it's documenting crime. And content is documenting crime. And by the way, she has the right to be pissed off at what you're putting her through. And call you names. In my opinion, you're a depraved, demented, sick, twisted little fuck. And a coward and a pussy and a pissant. All criminals are. That you would impose on the rights of other people like that. And then you walk around bragging about it. Look what I can do and get away with. You have no idea who all you've said that to. You and David both. This is your names. We got, when you start going at my house, we got Muffin Man. That's a nickname. These are, you know. Then you start trying to get me kicked out of my apartment. And we got more names. Ringtone Richard. And more names. You go at my cars, you go at my home. We got a lot of, there's more names. I don't know who Kiki is. Charles has asked me about 3 people that I had never heard of. Parker was yesterday. And today. Kiki and Bruce. Those names he'll type in my phone. Is it Parker? Is it Kiki? And is it Bruce? And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck those people are. But there's not a police investigation, so why are you asking about leaks? There's no leaks. It's all delusion. Right? She can argue about puffery, but the whole Facebook and the blog is all about crime. There's nothing political on it. Somebody has complained a lot about Charles is always in Oklahoma and he's always the victim of something. And it's bullshit. Because he's harassing Cynthia in Lubbock. She went home to her family. So if he's being, the victim of all constant, always some kind of crime. He's a victim of crime in Oklahoma. Why is he there? Why doesn't he go home to his family? I mean, that doesn't even make sense. So, you're trying to force me back to Texas? My privacy invaded? What the guy said is give it back, basically. Give it back what you took, fix what you broke, and get out. Or we're going to do it for you. We'll get a whole bunch of evidence, and we'll go to court, and we'll charge you with those crimes, and we'll do it for you. And then we'll remind you every day for the rest of your life, you broke her life to bits. You made a mess. We cleaned it up. We fixed it. You did not. We made her happy. You did not. You made everybody mad. So, there's sadism. It's about subjugating, right? Making everybody around you miserable. Here's your code words, right? Is that code words? Or is it just imagination? Okay. This is our shrink, what she had to say about it. This actually was before we found out you had Huntington's disease. But she does speak to that in there. Okay, everybody always calls every night to see if I showed back up at the club. And, so you can do your false arrest and make her sign the paper and make her pose for the wedding pictures. And then if she refuses, we'll tell her family, well, she got herself in trouble and she just won't let me help. She just won't lie for me and be trafficked. But we're going to lie to you and not tell you about that part of it. We're just going to tell you, family, that, we tried to help. You're the causation of all those problems. Yep. Proximate cause and the but-for standard and all of that. Heard of it? You have an attorney supposed to explain all that to you. And, what else do we get? This was Calvin on a rant tonight. I'm gonna fuck up everything in her life. She's fucked. Stomping his feet, weren't you? Was it you, Calvin? Somebody went off on a tangent. Okay, so there's that. Also, so your Dr. Russell said he just wants to hurt you, it looks to me like. I think maybe he just wants to hurt you. Most people try not to hurt. And you just sit around all day and try to figure out how you can hurt me. So she spoke to that, and he escalates more than you can ignore. Let me see what this is. Okay, here is, we detailed out again. That's my letter to the U.S. Attorney. Back in 2015, nothing's changed. You're still trying to, the false arrest. I was approached by two officers who said they were cops. He is, that senator from Texas wants us to just find a way to arrest you. We told him, no, that's not why we signed up to be police. And they said, but that doesn't mean he won't find a jackass that'll do it. I don't know what jurisdiction they were in. There's a lot of jurisdictions that go in there. There's Muskogee, Tahlequah, Choteau, Rogers, Mays, Pryor, Inola, Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Owasso. I mean, there's OHP goes in there once in a while. But I wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney about it, and I said he's using law enforcement to stalk me and harass me. This is the McNamara email. This is the Fabian puzzle. I just imagined it. It's my delusion. There's no investigation. There's no police that gave me this. It's not legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. The harassment email. This actually came from people in jail. Even prisoners are repulsed by you. We're going to send her home, harass the hell out of her, and then when she says, tells on us, we're going to say she's harassing us. We're going to lie. And Judge Kirkendall caught on to that, and she said, I need you to leave her alone for a couple weeks. It looks to me like this, dated back in 2018, is what you're doing. Leave her alone for a few weeks. I got to rule out provocation and entrapment. Looks to me like you're antagonizing, instigating, and entrapment. You watch a woman in the privacy of her home, it's vulgar. That's a provocation. You hack my phone and use DoorDash to get a picture of me from some guy I don't know from Adam. That's provocation. And it's creepy. You take my money so I can't even pay my bills or eat. that's provocation. You get me kicked out of my home, or you take my car, that's provocation. You don't have an injury. You're told on. You're rejected and told on. Every day, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, for 10 years. Every day, all day long, you are rejected and told on. No woman is trying to hold your hand. You got women trying to get protective orders against you. Yeah, you're something. So why isn't Judy Parker now? How do I know Judy Parker and Judge Egan are involved? I don't know very specifics, but I know that once in a while we quote them. One of them said, if it's not law enforcement telling her this, then you come in here with a viable alternative theory with evidence. Otherwise, it's law enforcement. If you can't prove she's lying and that she knows she's lying, then you prove it. Right? She said, I think it'll die down. I think she's just reacting to what you're doing. Stop instigating. And things will probably just die down. Yeah, okay. So, you gotta prove she's lying and that she knows she's lying. Okay, anyways, whatever that's all about. This is about the Houston hit. This is bad. This is, gosh, we're very disappointed in TPD. This needs to be looked into. They look corrupt. What the hell's going on here? This is a long, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it was very much about what's wrong at TPD. Something's wrong. And I agree, it is. It's very wrong. So somebody else in law enforcement is taking good care of me. It's not TPD. All right, look at this. I said no. No means no. Act your age, act like a grown man, accept it and move on. You don't have a choice. Every time you contact me, we get more information from inside your crime. You take my money, we get more information from inside your crime. You cause a problem for me, they're going to cause 20 for you. That's what cops do. They cause problems for criminals, hopefully. We all hope so. People don't like crime. Why do you think they are okay with yours? They're not. When it's a criminal act, it's something you're doing people don't like. And if you do things people don't like, they're not going to like you. People are sick of the bullying. A lot of times people will put up with bullying for so long, and then they've had enough of it, and they'll turn against you. They'll go to people who are safe. That's our guys. So, we're getting help with information, not you. They're going to clean up your mess and then remind you for the rest of your life, we cleaned up your mess, not you. We made her happy, not you. We were safe, you're not. And the judge who signs off on investigatory orders asks all the time if I'm okay. Is she all right? She's not living in her car again, is she? Does she have food? Her bills are paid? And if not, there's things that happen. Things that happen, legal things that happen that you'll find out at the proper time. So, when there's, because it's an imaginary thing, right? There's no leaks, there's nobody getting that information from you to me. It's just all imaginary, right? It's all delusion. Alright, okay, so don't ask me about leaks. There aren't any. I'm not told who the leaks are. It's a need to know, and I don't need to know that. I will never help you. I will fucking never help you. The guys told you it's inappropriate for you to ask for her help. You ruined her life. You took away everything she cares about, everything she worked for. You want help? Leave her alone. Give it back and get out, and we'll call you. But we're not going to waste our time calling you if you can't understand what we're saying. We're busy getting intel to do it for you. Just like that. You don't get to bribe her. You owe legitimate debt. Pay the legitimate debt. And, then we'll know that you understand us. We'll call you and we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can show you a little mercy. We don't have to. And the judge may not. We can see what we can work out. But nobody's calling you about anything until you do what he said. Her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. Do not contact her or her family again, ever, in any form at all. And she'd better not be broke. Get your hands up. Quit taking my money. Quit taking my money. They know I can make money. They've known me most of my adult life. And they know you're the cause of me not having money. So when they say she'd better not be broke again, that's what he's talking about. It's not extortion, it's not blackmail. We make no promises to not disclose something we have if you pay us. Those questions are never asked. Everything we put out is about strategy in a criminal case. That's it. Everything we do, everything we say, it's police strategy. Some of it is my idea, some of it is their idea. There's 40 people involved in this. A lot of people have a lot of good ideas on how to run strategy. Ours is working. You're not quoting us. You're not naming our guys. We're naming your guys. We're quoting you, right? Oh yeah, there's no leaks. There's no investigation. Yep, okay. Okay, so what does Matt Powell call every day wanting to know if I'm back out of the club? And in the DoorDash thing, can you tell if it's her or not? Why does he ask those questions? I want to know. I want to know the answer to that. Why is he asking those questions? What's it to him? That's the big question, Mr. Perry. All the things that you do, everybody's like, what's it to him? Why is he worried about where she lives or what she's driving or where she's working and whether or not she's waitressing or dancing? What business is it of his? I can't tell you how many people have said over the past 2 weeks, if they're complaining and complaining and complaining, she's not back out at the club. Mr. Butcher was complaining. Why is he complaining? So, what we heard that. He was complaining too. Again, stuff has to be proved out or not. We'll put it out, and then you start proving it out based on reactions. We get reactions, and it helps us. So, Mr. Buttram can speak as to his part in this, and why he didn't testify for Mike, why didn't Ridley, and did you tell him they couldn't? Was it just like me? I tried hard. Did you threaten him? Threaten both of them? Or why didn't they testify? This doesn't make sense. They said that to the news media, what's the harm of saying the same thing in a courtroom? Yeah, okay. So everybody's like, well, but if you really wanted her at the club, she'd be waitressing. You can waitress with an injured knee. The waitress could dance. So why is she not out there waitressing? If you really wanted her out there, she'd be waitressing. The thing is, you don't. You don't want her out there waitressing because you know it's not going to go like you keep telling everybody else it will. Right? You get near me, I'll beat the hell out of you. And you know that. Plus, I kept catching all your money laundering and shit. Yeah. So, you don't want me out at the club or I'd be waitressing. So the guy's like, if you're not doing what she says, why isn't she out there waitressing? If you're doing what she says, then you need her on that pole so you can carry out that scenario you sat down and talked about that she's already discussed over and over and over. They know. They already know. The non-existent leaks told the non-existent law enforcement officers helping her. Okay. So what are you worried about whether or not I go to the club? Okay, explain that. Explain that to Judge Parker and Judge Egan. Well, we've got this blog that documents all this stuff. All of it. There's Mike's case on that page. The grand jury, you guys had that a couple times. The perjury. The guy that came to my work, you always come into where I work, making a problem, making a thing. People don't like problems or those who cause them. And somebody complained about that too. He said, wherever Dave and Charles and those guys go, everything's a problem and everything's a thing and everything's an ordeal, all kinds of drama, and it's not too long and everybody's broke. So I can see why they have leaks. Everybody's sick of that. People will put up with bullying for a while, and then they'll start going, yeah, we're not putting up with this shit anymore. Especially if there's somebody they can go to that's going to stop it. This last one. We got a whole page now, Mr. Perry, on the trafficking issue. A whole page. Okay? It's not just a blog, it's got its own page. And here's our disclaimer. Here's my disclaimer. I assert the right to equal protection in the application of all laws, Violence Against Women Act, Title 18, United States Code, 1512 and 1513, all anti-harassment, voyeurism, hacking, cloning my phone, illegal access and use of my phone, interfering, coercion, perjury. He can use the perjury and the fraud as a witness tampering charge, Mr. Perry, because you use it to taunt me. I win. You did not outthink me. You did not overcome my evidence with testimony or your own evidence. You cheated. You went into court by yourself. You beat you. You didn't beat me. You didn't have an opponent. I didn't go in and show my evidence and put my witnesses on the stand, and you overcame all that. There's been no jury trial. There's no res judicata. There has to be a jury trial. There's never been one, Judge Egan. You have to have certain criteria for it to qualify for res judicata. Didn't qualify. You didn't have even a hearing. I wanted to know if my bond conditions constituted a contract, because Mr. Perry's name would not be in there if he didn't agree to that. He has to admit guilt and agree to stop. So, you never ruled on whether or not the bond conditions constituted contract and were binding to Mr. Perry. I would like one of you judges to make him leave me alone. Order the guy to leave me alone. He's in Oklahoma, I'm not in Texas. The problems are in Oklahoma, where he's doing this shit to me. He didn't have any injuries. He didn't have wrecked cars. He's sitting on his fat, lazy ass in a hotel eating and bothering. He's told on and rejected and told on and rejected. Or I wouldn't know you two are in this. So here's this. That's about stalking used for, hacking used to stalk. Use of technology to stalk. This is what cops are supposed to do, TPD. Not, we don't take evidence here. Pull her over and give her a ticket. Oh shit, I couldn't. I had a wreck. We had 3 pretty good-sized wrecks today in North Tulsa. So, I'm sorry, Calvin, they didn't get to be able to pull me over and give me a ticket like you asked them to. But we've duly noted it for the record that you asked them to. Again. Yeah. Alright.